He calls it healthening. Healthening is a state of wholeness, of wellness, of balance, homeostasis. It's a state of self-fulfillment, existential purpose and meaning. We're supposed to be in that state. And we're supposed to be able to keep ourselves, maintain that state. What he does is helps the suffering or dying person reconnect with that state and holds them there, protects them, takes care of them as they come into their own ability to bring that about and maintain it. One of the most recent cases has been a person suffering from AIDS for 10 years. And AIDS is a virus. So there's a connection here between what he's doing with the AIDS patient and the shingles patient. It's a virus. Nobody else can touch it. Medical science has no answer for virus. Virus runs its course. The AIDS patient suffered from AIDS for 10 years. He has on a drug regimen that, he carries around in a suitcase. It keeps him going. And the last year, before Philip saw this man, his viral load is how they measure the amount of virus that the body's carrying, had stabilized at what they call 37,000 copies. Sometimes it goes up to 100 or 200. So it stabilized with the drugs that he was on. When he went back after receiving Philip's processing, he had 2 independent labs do tests on his viral load. And his viral load report came out with this significant decrease from 37,000 down to less than 50 copies. That's astounding. It's not possible in a day. Several of the most interesting and dramatic cases that I witnessed, along with the other doctors we were working with, involved one, an Alzheimer's patient of a man who could barely walk or talk, Alzheimer's for 5 years. This man, after being treated by Philip once, was able to stand up in a courtroom and demand that the judge give him his business back. Another case was a child working with a doctor that we worked with who had been born without a corpus callosum, the part of the brain that integrates the left and right hemisphere. This child was born into a Mexican family in East LA, a poor family. They loved the child. He could do nothing. He could not move. It's like a vegetable. And they took care of him, loved him for 4 years. Philip took care of him. Within weeks, this child is sitting up, feeding himself, playing with a puppy that they got, starting to talk. Impossible things without a corpus callosum. The documentary filmmaker who was interviewing Philip and this doctor with this child said, "What did you do, Philip? Did you help regenerate a corpus callosum?" Philip goes, "No, we bypassed it." So it's this astounding documentation. And doctors are interested in it. Holistic practitioners are interested in it. Scientists are interested in it. And it's a very exciting field. At the California Institute of Human Science, which is where I met Philip, they were doing 2 years of testing on him. They were testing his brain waves. They were testing his before and after of all his patients for 2 years. He broke the records in all cases. In one case, it went off the charts. The chart didn't have a limit for his results. That was a kidney failure. And all of a sudden, after one treatment, bursts of energy into the kidney. The person is revitalized with health that maintained, it's documented, for several years. Also at the California Institute, they have a shielded room. It's called the Faraday Cage, and they're very proud of it. There's very few of them built, and it's built to block electromagnetic waves. So the idea, the scientists and physicists and people at the Institute were documenting Philip. So the idea was for Philip to do a processing while in the shielded room. If there was an effect from his processing that was observable in the subjects, while he was in that shielded room, that his technology is not blocked and has almost nothing to do with electromagnetism, which is the basic structure of the physical world. So it's coming from some other technology that we don't have. It's taking place at a much more fundamental level, at the causal level, if you will, but not at the physical or subtle energies level. And that's exactly what happened. The effects were astoundingly dramatic, and documented that Philip does in fact take care of the cause of the problem. That's what he's known to do. He goes at the cause, and then the effects show the psychological, emotional, spiritual, and physical. Also, what they did at this institute and at the other institutes in California, other doctors and researchers got in on this and mapped his brain. The EEG standard way, and then another way called the brain mapping. So the results of those tests on his brain, the EEG, were so extraordinary, unusual. In one case, the brain mapping that was done shows a picture of the alpha band, and it increased from resting to processing state 40 times, not 40%, 40 times what it started out as. These scientists had never seen anything like this ever from a human brain. The closest they've ever seen is the alpha band of the large sea mammals, like the whales with their sonar. That's the closest they can come. They cannot link this alpha band with anything that they know. Now the more cutting-edge scientists are trying to link it with a healing state of consciousness, whatever that means, whatever it means to them. That's their research. So they are interested in this. But that's a very extraordinary document. People are dying at very young ages, and they know they don't need to be dying. They don't want to be dying. He's able to help these people. He's able to relieve their suffering and keep them from dying. These are his abilities and powers, whatever you want to call it. It's a technology that is useful to people. We have, so we help these people. We've helped many, many people in the U.S. And now in Europe, we have an organization called, it's a nonprofit, California corporation called Catharsis, Bionostic Unit of Geonoetics. The focus of Philip's purpose and intentions here is earth-oriented, ecologically oriented. We don't have a chance if our planet doesn't survive. We're in crisis. He's here to use these powers to help. This is the purpose of Philip's being here, the use of his powers to help the earth and the people on this earth survive. So what he has to offer is extremely useful, and it's up to people to use it. And we are the people that are using it. So the people that have to do with our organization or that we help, they contribute to our organization. They contribute in the sense of resources. In an individual case, it's like finding the best surgeon, the best lawyer that you can't find anywhere else. Frankly, there is no one else that can do what he's doing. Medical doctors can take you to a certain level, and when they give up, there's nothing more they can do. We take care of those people. And from the resources that they contribute, we then are able to go on with our projects and Philip's projects. I'm a director of those projects, and I am the chairman of the Catharsis organization.